Okay, and hello everybody on YouTube, all my Patreonies. How's it going, everybody? This is going to be a demo review by me, Launders, and it is of Passionate. Passionate has problems with peeking on T side as well as just like general positioning, so we're going to go over as much stuff as we possibly can. It's obviously been a long time since I've done a demo review. I can't remember the last time, it was probably a year or more. Back then, however, we did a lot. I have, I think, maybe 30 VODs up on YouTube if you guys want to check the old playlists. I think there was one on my channel that has like 33 or something demo reviews that we've done. So here we have the first round, pistol round. She is coming out to peek mid and sees one, shoots, falls off, shoots, fall off. This is perfect. With a Glock versus a USP and you're this long range, people will peek mid, and sometimes it's really good to, if you have teammates coming over boost, to peek white box and to hold them there so they can't peek out so wide and kill your teammates on boost. In this circumstance, you cleared stuff out. There was a guy white box, he ended up shooting you in the side of the head. There's nothing you can do about that. You spent your time clearing stuff. You had to clear close left if you wanted to get out mid, and you had to get out mid to help your teammates on ace. So you didn't really do anything wrong. All that happened was he had better timing on you. And then I guess you spent a little bit of time shooting without moving or running, which is something I highly recommend abusing. As a pistoling player, constantly move, keep moving, because your inaccuracy is barely affected. Okay, so now we're on what is basically a force up. You've picked up a UMP, flash dodge here. Deagle shooting, nice and slow, no panic shots, that's good, and then you get flanked. Not much to talk about on that round. Especially on the second round, on either side, whether you win or, well, if you lose, almost every risk is warranted. It's really hard to say, okay, you shouldn't have done this, and there's like no good reason for it, because a lot of times every rule that's in Counter-Strike is out the window on a second round force up. You bait teammates, it's okay. Oh, that was a really good peek. Okay, you also did a lot of damage to Dirty Joe. This is not good. You go into forklifts, really unsafe, because you just saw that player at truck. So I would have just sat in the front of forklift, being aware of the fact that if this guy truck wide peeks or goes to bomb wall, that he can't kill you. Back to mid. Oh shoot. Okay, you had his back and you saw him walking away. I can understand the temptation to try to shoot in that situation. If it's not a guaranteed shot, like I think there's always a benefit. There's always a benefit to just taking that information, going out further. Like if you walked out left side mid and he came out of vents, he's not going to clear you. So if you just stood there, he comes out of vents, he's going to be looking at mid, or he just stays in vents and then you work up to it again at another point, or you just hold that angle inside mid and wait for him to peek out vents again. But if you thought you had the shot, if you thought you had the shot, you thought you had it. Here, pushing to B, the spacing's pretty good. You saw the guy in checker, you took care of him, that's good. You have got the bomb, so you're, okay. Whoa, you gotta, whoa, whoa, okay. You just saw the Molotov come out of CT, and the thing is that your teammates were also, so your teammates were in what would be known as really good after plant spots, but because you didn't get the bomb down, you needed your teammates to help you cross into the site. If you're going across by yourself, you should have done it way more slowly, where you're like looking for the guy to catch you on the cross, because you got to assume people are going to come CT in heaven. And if you have teammates with you and you don't have a smoke for CT, then they need to come with you. Like, that is the bottom line. They need to come with you, trade your death, get the bomb down. That's just it. You can't be expected to jump into site by yourself. Okay, I love doing this. Oh, that was good. Took a fight and fell off. I think there's still one person on site and one person highway, and I guess your other teammate just died. So that wasn't too bad. I think taking that fight on highway was like falling off to the fight on highway was really good. After that, knowing that there was a second person on highway, when you came back to the site, you came out a little bit wide. So the guy from highway got a few more shots on you. Okay, so you want to poke into mid again. This time they have a different setup. You didn't see one in vent there. You're waiting though. Ah, that's good. Outpatience Chaz. He pushes into mid main. I think he was the guy who plays in vents. So now you're big chillin'. Your teammates are out on the site. This is good. You're picking up the pace. You're not walking. And wow, Scorpion hits a really nice shot after knowing that you came out mid. So your other play would be to stay here and wait for this guy who rotated in. Is to sit at white box and wait for this guy. But because your teammates were actually in the site, I think it was the better play to try to challenge highway like you did. And it was just a bet. It was just that Scorpion hit a better shot. So I actually think you did the right thing and that you were fast enough as well. Like you cleared everything at mid, but you were still running the whole time, which is good. That's kind of the most you can ask of your teammates, is to make sure that, you know, they're looking out for themselves, but if everybody's out on a site, that they're picking up the pace for flanks. You just got very, very lucky and did not die. And now you're taking a fight that you shouldn't take at all. Definitely not. 2 HP, you don't need to do this. You need to be... There is no reason for you to go back and keep peeking that guy. If he shot you with one bullet, you would have died. Instead, I would just go back to B, wait in sunroom, wait for someone to come through mid, come to you, but don't go out and look for a fight versus somebody who just saw you. That was a good entry, but what are your teammates doing? This is like your teammates have nothing to lose here, so they should be right behind you. So just like I was saying, it was good that you were like picking the pace up on your flank because your teammates needed you. That situation where your teammates needed you and they weren't moving fast enough. You got that first kill, they would have had so much. They would have had just the easiest time pushing all the way in, trading out the last guy, and then putting the bomb down. If it was a match, then I would get really mad at a teammate for allowing that to happen. But since it's matchmaking, that's going to happen all the time. There's not much you can do about it. You just gotta be aware of what your teammates are doing. Okay. One kill, the site's taken, but you guys don't have the bomb. And this demo is a total slideshow. Someone should just be going back to get the bomb. There's... Oh my god. And I don't really know what to say about this round, but it was interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind this. That's good. That's good. I like the way you position yourself that round. Like, go back to site and then back out. I like that. As opposed to stay there, fight there, or even go to fork. That would have been bad. Going into the site with your teammate would have just made it so that hard for him to fight because he's already taken that spot at default. So, yeah, that's exactly what I would have done too. So after the demo's done, I'm going to go into offline server and then kind of at least talk about what some of the rounds that I mentioned in the past and what I would have done differently, or like how I would have played it. Okay, we're gonna go back and check how that happened. So here's a Molotov. I could show you the Molotov for boost box. They hit at every time. That was unfortunate. I didn't do anything wrong. Once again, there was a guy came over a boost. You still take that fight for even a second or two longer. If you miss any more than that, then you don't want to fight anymore. But that wasn't an unreasonable amount of time. I think you accidentally right and left click that smoke somehow, because that was not a left click, but it wasn't a right click either. Oh my god. Okay. Whoa. What just happened? That would have been just fine. You would have been able to escape, not get shot in the back. And I don't know if your teammates won that or not. I don't know if you had some kind of malfunction. that once again, it's not your fault. You can see by the way that you're moving, clearly trying to get into sandbag. Okay. Let's see if we have one more rifle round that we can look at. Oh, this will be the last round. Okay. Oh, wow, nice shot. Yeah, if he was on cycle like that, you could have gotten... Yeah, you could do that. I wouldn't have peeked so wide, though, to the box. That's obviously takes, like, a little bit of effort, but... Here's what it'll do differently. So we'll go into a server. Okay, so we just watched the Passionate demo and want to talk about some of the things on cache that I mentioned. So we can go from the end here. We just saw this fight with a deagle happen on our player at the back of A main. So what we first saw was she peeked into A main, and then I think she shoulder peeked, and then he fell off, and then she peeked again. Well, in that situation, when she knew that the op was on cycle, so she heard the op ring off, and then she's like, okay, I can peek again, get ready. She went a little wide, was the only thing. So I think for next time, if you do have that opportunity, like you bait a shot out, but you still want to take the fight because it's an eco, you just want to try to make this as tight as possible. And if you do end up like this by accident, then you can just, ease your way back in. You had a little bit more time to do that. It's very normal to do that. But just make the shot as hard as possible for him, as well as easy for you as possible. Because for you, it takes a little bit more work. It takes a little bit more work, but there is absolutely no downside. In this situation, there was one where you were shooting at the guy in the box, and the guy came over, his teammate came over white box. That happens to the best of us. There isn't a lot you can do about that. In this mid situation where you waited for somebody to push, they came in, you killed them, and then you managed to get your way outside mid, oops, and you cleared stuff, and then your teammates were out on the site by this point, and then you kind of came up pretty quickly, and then decided to take a fight, and then this guy killed you at barrels. And this wasn't your fault at all. The play that I was talking about was if you come up mid and your teammate are doing an A hit and nobody knows that you're out mid, then you could sit at white box like this, and you kind of have your crosshair ready to fight anybody coming out of Z. And because what people do is they come back here and they peek like this, and then if you're waiting properly here, then you can shoot them when they come out. And then after you get that kill, you know that the rotator's dead, then you move up highway, or you just run back to A main and then have them constantly think about highway. So it's like having an extra player when you're able to create presence on two parts of the map at once. So all these players came out A main, they're worried about it, they're on the site now. You got your highway guy, all bunch of smokes here. He's gonna look behind him, he's gonna see one highway, let's see he doesn't kill that person. Well, that person on highway is constantly on his mind. So therefore, he's not gonna back his way up to highway anymore. He's gonna be limited now in his movement to here and here, right? He's scared to go anywhere else, scared to cross this line, doesn't wanna get shot. But in the meantime, you're not even there. You're just going back all the way to A main just to be an extra person to come out A main. And so suddenly it feels like you have 6 players because you have map control. You're forcing your opponents to play as if there are more players than there are on the map, and you get to be in a brand new position. So that's the value, and that's why I also pointed out when you took a fight and then you fell off that fight. I think it was here, which could lead us to our next one. You came out A main on a forklift rush, which is a good way to do this if you're the first person out. Oftentimes you come out here, you fight the guy highway, and then you should be looking to fight the guy quad. But I think what happened was you came up, you saw one highway, you shot him, you killed him, and then there was a second guy there, and then you went to reload and you went like this. And if you and then when you came up here, you were exposing yourself to highway. So it would have been better if you were going wider, because there was one guy against the wall and was going to be able to see, like this was his line of view and you were in it. So if you wanted to if you wanted to go around sight, then you should have done it wider, or you could have just, because you're unsafe and reloading and so on, just gone back to forklift and then let your teammate come out, and you guys could have fought highway together, just take his lead, or fight sight together, just take his lead, and that would have been the best situation. In general, though, the aim's good, the reaction's good, I think, and some of the decision making. So here's the other one. So you saw somebody invent when you were sitting here, and you did let them escape, or you tried to shoot before they escaped, and you could see their head here and then most of their body this way, and they were walking that way, and you decided to take the shot and missed. You might have hit him once, but it wasn't enough to kill him, and that let him know that you were here, so that made him a lot harder to kill at the end of the day. The only thing about that play was that what you could have done was, with this knowledge, let him be in vent and then try to sneak out. You could have sat here and wait for him to peek again, because now you're like, you have all the time in the world to set up perfect crosshair placement. You know, he was walking, he's not trying to make a lot of noise, he might come back and peek since he was there already, and be in complete safety and have, like, be fully concentrated and fully prepared to hit that shot. Or you could have walked out with your eyes on it, and then as soon as you cross, like, make sure no one's peeking white box, and then just held here for a while, and then got into forward position where you have a little bit more information, and eventually worked your way into vents, or killed him as soon as he peeks, and been really, really close up to him as well, so you could take advantage of maybe a second person. Those were a few of the options that you could have taken instead of just shooting right away. So something to consider. But yeah, that's going to be it for the demo review. Thanks for submitting the demo.